Hi, so today I wanted to go over with you a little bit about inferencing. Um, and part of inferencing is really using the evidence in the sentence and making sure that you understand it, which is also meaning that you comprehend what the sentence is actually saying to you or the writing piece, so that it can help you oftentimes to use context clues to identify things that you don't know in the sentence. In this case, we're going to be focusing on the Greek and Latin roots. So the first example, the Transcontinental Railroad traveled in the United States to link the East to the West, okay? I'm going to be looking specifically at this word transcontinental, okay? And when I'm looking at transcontinental, and this is the really great thing about having root words and knowing them, okay? I see the root word trans. Now, maybe as a reader, maybe you don't know what trans means, and that's okay, because you're going to use those context clues. You're going to use evidence from this sentence. First, however, no matter what, you have to understand what the sentence means. And in this sentence, right, basically what's telling me is that a railroad, which is trains, went from the East Coast, which is where we are, to the West Coast, so towards California. So when I think about it that way, and if I think of a map, okay, I could see this railroad going across the country. So that's first off. The evidence that I'm going to use in that, okay, I have the word traveled. That didn't do what I wanted. So I have the word traveled in the United States, and it linked east to west. So again, I really think of that map view in my head. It helps me to create pictures. So if I had to make an inference and I had to determine what trans means, transcontinental, I would say that transcontinental would mean, across the country. And the reason I say across the country is because I'm looking at the word United States, so I know it's in our country. Now in this second example, an inspector observes situations carefully, okay, because I know Greek and Latin roots, all right, and if I was looking at this word inspector, because I know my Greek and Latin roots, I would pick up on the word specto, okay. However, if you don't know what specto means, that's okay. So let's talk about, well, what is this sentence actually telling me? So an inspector observes situations carefully. Well, observes to me means watches. So an inspector watches situations carefully. When I think about a situation, I think about something that's happening, something that's going on. So an inspector watches something that is going on carefully. Okay? If I have that sentence, then that might help me. So let me rewrite that sentence. All right? An inspector watches. Maybe we can even just put events carefully. In either sentence, you can get meaning out of them, but in order to figure out what specto means, I've got to use evidence. I've got to use my context clues. My context clue here is going to be that word observes, because when you observe something, you're watching it, right? So exactly what we put over here. They're pretty much kind of synonyms to each other. So if you're observing or you're watching, then an inspector is someone who watches or who looks at something. So inspectors watch or look at situations. Okay? So that's really what we're kind of looking here in your answer. The third one, a manicure can make fingernails look very beautiful. The focus here is the word manicure. Well, because I have a knowledge of my roots, this actually here, mani, goes with that root manus, and I know that manus means hands Okay, but if I didn't, well, then I have to make an inference and I have to use the evidence in this sentence. So I know things are looking beautiful. Well, what's looking beautiful? My fingernails. Okay, so where are fingernails? They are on my hand. So in essence, a manicure, a manicure is something that is done to the hand to make it look better. Oh my goodness gracious. I apologize. Again, if you don't know that the root word is mani, then you have to use that evidence. You have to look around. Well, fingernails would have been my clue word. And that's what you're doing when you're making inferences. You're using those clue words to help you. Please let me know if you have any questions. As we go along, you're going to be asked to make inferences throughout the week on your assignments.